Hey guys, happy Monday. Welcome back to my channel, or if it's your first time seeing my face, welcome. My name is Lauren. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today. We are going to be chatting about my foundationless makeup routine. I am absolutely loving the warmer weather we are having here in Connecticut. It has been too long. We had the longest winter. It snowed here in April, like mid-April. So a month later, having 80-degree weather feels amazing. I am a summer baby. I love the heat. But all that being said, I also have very, very oily skin, and as soon as the weather gets really nice and toasty warm, my face turns into a giant grease pit, and all of my makeup has a tendency to want to just melt off of it. So most days that I'm not filming, I typically wear very light, natural makeup. I just find it really easy to apply. I like to keep things pretty fast, simple, and I also like to give my face a break between like full coverage glam makeup days. So I have been especially loving this particular routine that doesn't use foundation at all, because I feel like it lets my skin breathe a little bit more. It's less likely to get as greasy. It's very easy to touch up, and I just think it's really friendly for those hot summer days where you don't want to feel like you're wearing 50 pounds of makeup. So if you want to see how I create this look and what my no foundation makeup routine is, keep on watching. So I'm going to start out by priming my skin with the Dermalogica Age Smart Skin Perfect Primer. So I like this one for a couple of reasons. First of all, it has SPF 30 and it's a mineral sunscreen, which tends to get along better with my skin. And it also kind of has a silicone pore filling blurring effect. So basically this gives me the benefit of adding a little extra sun protection to my skin and also just smoothing things out. It's very slightly tinted, not so much that it actually gives me coverage, but I kind of feel like it just makes my skin look a little more even and perfected, which when I'm not going to be wearing foundation is something that I want. So I just take a little tiny dot like this, and I'm going to concentrate it in the center of my face first. That's where I tend to have larger pores, and I really want to press the primer in so that way it kind of fills all that area in like I'm speckling my face. And then I blend the excess out into like the perimeter of my face. Then my next step is going to be to go in with a concealer on my face to cover up any areas of redness, pimples, marks, all that kind of stuff. Since I'm not going in with the foundation, this is where I'm looking to try to like perfect the look of my skin, but still keep things looking relatively natural and that like, you know, no makeup kind of look. So I've had very mixed feelings about this BareMinerals BarePro concealer. I feel that on top of a liquid foundation, I don't love how it applies, but I've actually been really liking it for these no foundation days. To me, it's almost like a little mini stick foundation in a way, because it is very creamy and it does have good coverage, but it dries down pretty matte. And so my problem is I feel like when I wear it over certain foundations, they don't blend together very well. It feels a little dry on the skin. I don't really like the way it looks on the under eyes, but when I'm wearing it just by itself, I feel like it kind of blends into my naked skin the way a foundation would, and it covers really nicely, and like without any layering of other products, it works pretty well. So I have the shade Medium Warm 07, and I'm not gonna like go too crazy with this. I tend to have redness right around the creases of my nose, a little bit right up here on the bridge, kind of in this area, a little on my chin, and maybe a little bit here. So I'm gonna kind of start with about that much product, and then I am going to use this little Real Techniques setting brush. This one's nice because it's quite fluffy and light, but it blends product in really fast and easily. So I'm just gonna kind of swirl that over where I applied the concealer to start to blend it in with my skin. And again, I do really think the trick with this particular product is it really does need to be well blended, otherwise it can look a little bit dry and a little bit cakey. But if you don't go overboard with application and really meld it into the skin, it can look pretty nice. Now I'm looking at my skin a little bit up close, and I do have just a few areas where I have like a little bit of redness, breakouts, just some spots that I would like to cover a little bit more. So I'm just going to tap the concealer onto those areas, and then I'm going to blend that in the same way. So what I like about this is, like, when I look at my skin up close, it really doesn't look like I'm wearing much makeup at all, because I really took the time to blend the products into my skin, but it definitely does look way more even than it did before. Then the next thing that I want to do, because I feel like this really just wakes up my face a bit, is add a little bit of a light concealer in my under eye area. Not a lot, just a little bit to brighten things up. I tend to have a lot of darkness, especially in the corners of my eyes. It's not that they're like a dark bluish kind of under eye thing, but it's just a little bit darker there than the rest of my face, and I feel like it's especially noticeable after I put that concealer on. So I'm gonna go in with the Too Faced Born This Way concealer, and I'm just gonna dot just a little bit of this in the under eye area. Maybe put a little bit up here towards the corners where I have more darkness, and I'm gonna use that same Real Techniques brush again to just buff this in. Just gonna bring the excess up onto my lid and brow bone area just to even everything out. And honestly, what I find is when I'm using such a light layer of product in such a small amount, I don't even need to set this, because it's really not likely to crease onto me just because I'm using such a small amount. I think when you go overboard with foundation and concealer and you have like a thicker layer of product on your skin, it can tend to crease and move around, but we're just gonna leave this as is for right now. So the next product that I love on my very light or no foundation days is the Milk Makeup Matte Bronzer. You guys have probably seen me use this a bunch before. This is a little mini size that I have, and I literally have this much left. Like, that's it. That's all that's remaining of it. I'm trying to pan it, but this is such a beautiful cream bronzer. It really does add some life to your skin, just kind of wakes up the complexion. So I am going to take this kind of like right underneath where my cheekbones would be, and then up around the perimeter of my face a little bit. And again, we're gonna use our handy dandy little brush here, keep things nice and simple because it's already dirty, and we're gonna start blending this in little tiny circular motions. And what's great about a small little brush like this is it gives you a ton of precision, so you don't kind of over blend. You can keep the product exactly where you want it. It's easier to control, and it's fast. I feel like this little guy really does blend your makeup in very quickly and beautifully. It's just like a really handy little drugstore brush. Then I'm gonna reach for my Pixi by Petra Multibalm in the shade Baby Petal. This is a really beautiful cream blush that you could also use on your lips, and it's a stick product, goes on really creamy, really natural. I'm like addicted to this. So I'm just going to draw a little bit of this onto my cheeks like such, and you can see it's a very subtle color. It's like not scary at all. Some cream blushes I feel like can be a little intense and a little bit clowny, difficult to work with. That is so not the case with this product at all. I feel like it's really creamy, blends in really beautifully into the skin, and you can even wear it on like a no makeup day. Like literally just throw this on by itself if you just want to add a little bit of life to your cheeks. But I particularly like how this looks on my, you know, no foundation days like this, where I'm just kind of using a little bit of concealer and some cream products. I feel like it just gives my cheeks a healthy flush that still looks really natural. And then of course, I love a good glow. Can never go wrong with just like a little bit of highlight to really add that pretty dimension to your skin, and especially when you're keeping things less full coverage. So I have this itty bitty baby sample of the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops in the shade Moonlight. I swear to God, even this tiny little bottle will take me a lifetime to go through, because a little bit of this goes such a long way. So I'm just going to dot 2 little dots on my face. That's it. Really, really easy. Again, going in with our handy dandy little brush. This guy's going overtime today. And I'm gonna start blending this in. And I feel like, you know, with it being warm and summery, that glow is just so pretty on the skin. I'm gonna take any excess that I have and kind of work that onto my nose. I'm not gonna like go in separately on the bridge of my nose or the Cupid's bow. I'm just gonna kind of use any residual product that I have left. But I feel like that blends out to just such a subtle, pretty glow. It definitely makes your skin look healthy and luminous, but it's not a stripy, it's not metallic, it's not chunky. My skin, I feel like, still just looks like skin, which is really the whole point of this look. It comes together so fast and it looks natural and not like you're wearing 10 pounds of makeup. So this next step is optional. I personally love filling in my eyebrows and I feel like it makes a huge difference in my face. You could honestly just throw some brow gel in your brows if you felt that they were full and you didn't really need to fill them in. I think for me personally, mine are just kind of sparse and a little bit uneven, so I like to use a pencil. But really at this point, it's just making your brows look a little bit cleaned and a little bit polished, but you don't have to go crazy full Instagram brows if that's not your normal. So I'm gonna be using my Tarte Amazonian Clay waterproof brow pencil, but really like any skinny brow pencil will do the same thing. They all are kind of basically the same. This one is very long wearing and it does have a nice kind of more neutral ashy color. This is the shade Rich Brown, which I feel works pretty well for my hair color. So I am just going to kind of lightly fill in and shape my eyebrows and just kind of, again, make them look a little bit more polished and cleaned up. So once my brows are filled in, I'm gonna move on to eyes, and here I'm keeping things very, very simple. I'm gonna be using two products, one of which we've already used. The first one is this Nudestix Magnetic Matte Eye Color in the shade Terra. This is a cream eye pencil, basically, and it's matte, really beautiful, really long wearing, and easy to work with, and I'm gonna basically use this as my crease color. So I'm just going to draw on a little bit of this pencil into the crease of my eyes, and you kind of want to work quick with this stuff because once it's dry and it sets, it's really budge proof, so you want to blend it before it sets in. Then I'm just going in with a little synthetic crease brush. This one is from Moda Brushes, and I'm just going to buff that into the crease of my eye in back and forth windshield wiper motions while the product, you know, is still soft and blendable. And on my skin tone, this color is just a nice, warm, neutral brown that's a few shades deeper than my natural complexion, so it adds some depth to the crease of my eye, but it's still really nice and soft and not too dramatic. Just kind of adds like a little bit of natural contour, but nothing too crazy. Then I'm going to take those Cover FX Custom Enhancer drops that we used before, and I'm basically going to use this as my lid color. So I'm just going to dab a little bit of this on my eyelids, and I'm actually just going to take my finger and just tap this to blend it, and it adds such a beautiful shine to the eyes. So like we don't even need a separate eyeshadow for this. And I'm just going to take the product that's left over on my finger, and I'm just gonna kind of tap this on the brow bone to add just like a little bit of highlight. And then I can go back in with the blending brush and just kind of make sure that the edges are blended nicely together, and boom, eyeshadow done. To finish off the eyes, I'm just going to throw in a couple of coats of mascara. I've been using the Essence False Lashes Mascara Dramatic Volume Unlimited for a while now. This has been my go-to. I definitely want to try out some new mascara formulas, so I'm sure I'm going to be retiring this one from the rotation soon, but it's great. It's $5 and it makes your eyelashes look black and volumized and really, really beautiful. So if you like the drama and the volume, this one is a must-have. And then I've just got two more steps to finish things off. For my lips, I'm just gonna go in with a gloss. You could put on a nude lipstick, you could put on a lip liner and a gloss. Really, when it comes to the lips and when you're doing a foundationless makeup look, you can kind of go as bold or as neutral as you want depending on your preference. It can look really beautiful to wear a super bold lip with a very, very minimal makeup look on the rest of your face. Or if you want to keep things as natural as possible, you could just throw on a lip balm. I'm going to use one of the Almay Goddess glosses. This one is in the shade Angelic, which is a really sheer pink color. So this will just add a little bit of sparkle and shine, but still keep things very, very neutral and natural looking. Because that's I kind of feel like I'm doing like ethereal glowy vibes today is the general gist of this whole overall look. So I just kind of liked how this lip would pair with the rest of the makeup that I was wearing. But you really have a lot of flexibility here. And the last step of what I'm going to do here is kind of optional. This is something I personally like to do just to kind of give my makeup a little extra insurance, but you could totally skip this step if you wanted. I'm gonna go in with a setting spray to lock my makeup down. Obviously, this is a very light makeup look. There's not a lot of layers here that we're really trying to set in, but my skin's really oily, so I just kind of like the effect that a setting spray gives of really helping that makeup to last. If your skin was really dry, you could go in with a hydrating setting spray or a hydrating face mist, and that may make your skin just look extra fresh and dewy to kind of finish things off. But I personally like the Milani Make It Last because it works really well for my oily skin. So this is my completed no foundation makeup look. Really glowy, really natural. It feels really light and fresh. It doesn't feel heavy on the skin at all. There's really minimal layers of makeup. I'm not really wearing any powders. I did all cream products pretty much. And I feel like it's really quick and it's really easy. I literally used 2 brushes to do this entire look, and you honestly could just do it with your fingers if you didn't even have any brushes on hand at all, and it would probably come out just fine. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my foundationless makeup routine. Definitely is a very fresh, glowy, and comfortable look to wear. Super easy to recreate. Let me know in the comments down below if you decide to do your own spin on this look, or let me know what your favorite like no makeup or light makeup products to use are. I always love hearing your guys' recommendations and your favorites and just generally chatting with you. So say hi in the comments or tag me on Instagram if you create a look and you want me to see it. My handle is BLUSHINGBIRDIE, and all of my social profiles are always linked in the description boxes of my videos if you want to go check them out. If you want to see more of my beauty videos in the future, I hope you will click that subscribe button before you go, so that way you'll be kept in the loop of all my future videos. And with that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.